Uh, so the first thing I would do is go ahead and get rid of all that junk that comes with React because I'm just not interested in it right now. Don't care about the logo. So I've made some changes. So what's the first thing I should do? I should check to make sure that those changes are in effect. Right? Every time you make a change, you should check your work. If your work doesn't run, you've made a mistake, fix it now. Right? Literally every time. So that way you don't go, I don't know when this broke. This broke on literally the last programming sentence that I made. Oh, I don't know why. I must have tried to save it. Okay. So I know I'm going to create a form because that's what we asked for. So I'm going to go ahead and just pretend I have one. So I'm going to import form from /components slash form.js. Right, I don't currently have that, so let's go ahead and make that. So inside of my source, we're going to create our folder called components. How did I spell it before? Components. And then I'll create my form.js. All right, so I saw a couple people make this mistake too. So the first decision we have to make is what kind of component should this be? Why?
Because you're adding stuff to the component depending on if you're adding different stuff information, first name, last name. So,
Okay, so Rafit says we need this to be a class component because we're adding information. Any other wording for that? Yeah, Danny?
Keeping track of state.
State, yeah, right? Because this component has state. That is really the wording I'm looking for, right? Because this component needs to keep track of state, we're going to make this a class component for now. Eventually, we'll turn it back into a functional component when we learn hooks. But for now, and the main way you'll see still in the documentation, we do class component. So let's go ahead and import React from React. And then let's make our class component. So class form, what is it? Extends React.component. Oh yeah, hang on, we're not quite there yet. And then let's go ahead and export default our form. What's the one thing that every class component needs? No. Render. That is the only requirement. Render. And we can return in here. And let's make sure everything is working. So I'm going to make a div that just says form showing. Okay, this is all I need to write in order to have a form. Okay, I know it doesn't do much, but let's make sure that it works. I can't resolve my path. That's probably doing something wrong. Let's just try it again. It's just old news. Okay, and instead of having hello there, let's go ahead and put our form there, which is self-closing. Yeah, keep our tabbing consistent. Okay, and we should see form showing. Okay, so now we know that this is working. Spell check is not, but that's okay. Questions on that, on how we're proceeding? Okay, so the next thing we want to start thinking about is the inputs, right? What actually is going on? What should we actually be returning from this form? Should I have it start with div? Should probably start with a form tag, right? Okay. And what do we want inside of that? An input, yeah. So let's go ahead and give it an input. Type, we'll say text. What else do we need from here?
Submit.
Yeah, what from in our input?
Like an about this sort of thing?
So we want to listen for it.
Like a change.
Okay, so that means we're doing, what kind of an input is this then? Do we know the word? Okay, so if we're keeping track of the state as it changes and updating the value, that is called a controlled input. That is the common pattern in React, but it is called a controlled input. Okay, so all of our inputs will probably follow that. So they'll have a value. And we'll want our value to be something, right? Who said empty string? Interesting. Okay, so let's say I do that. If we make it an empty string. Why? What's going to happen if my value is just an empty string? Doug?
I think it's unknown, or like not, has no state, basically.
Rafid?
I think it's just not going to let you type anything, or it's not going to save.
Interesting. Rafid says it's not going to let me type anything. All right, well, let's go see. And Rafid also said we need to have an on change, Russ. So let's go ahead and add an on change. And when this changes, what do we want to happen?
You want the inputs to be shown.
You want the function to run.
Yeah, we want a well, it is a callback function, right? But it's a method on form. We want to fire our handle first name or something. Right, let's give this a little label also while we're here for better practice. Okay. Not sure what's the coloring. Oh, because and label will just write first name. Okay, so on change we want to fire like this dot handle first name change. I don't know. It seems like a long name, but it's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and close this. People see that? Okay, so let's go ahead and write that method to help us. Oops. I don't know why that's copied. Okay. Okay, so we have our handle first name change, and this is going to do something. But if we want to still use this, what do we need to do?
Create a state that you can key into.
Okay, but I mean, just to even have this function run with the right scope, what do I need to do? I have an event. All right, well, we'll see. Let's go ahead and create the state that people are telling about. Do I need a constructor function?
No.
Can I have a constructor function? I can, right? I could have a constructor function that also takes props, but I don't necessarily need it, right? Okay. So let's go ahead and make state just as a kind of a global variable on this class here. What's a good key for this input?
First name.
First name. Good starting value. Empty string. Okay. let's see what happens. So this will take in an E, right? Let's make sure everything looks okay. Not updating at all. That's kind of bizarre. So there's a weird thing going on with my computer where it keeps disconnecting from the internet, but it shouldn't actually matter, but it matters for AirPlay. But for some reason, it's still working on AirPlay, but it's not making any, it's not updating the change. That's very, very weird. I don't know how I feel about this AirPlay system. I like it more than the Wire, but. All right, so just hang tight.